those that are watching that maybe haven't heard of nullification so much, they've maybe just become awakened or taken the red pill, so to speak, of Americanism. Can you explain really briefly what nullification is and where it sort of comes from in the Constitution? This is Christian Gomez, and you are watching Constitution Corner. And joining us today as a special guest is our Executive Field Coordinator of the John Birch Society, Evan Mulch. Thank you for joining us today, Evan.
Hey, Christian, I got my Constitution with me, so I look forward to being on this.
Excellent, excellent. So, of course, sadly, today, Joe Biden has been sworn in as president, at least as the day that we're recording this. Joe Biden has been sworn in as president, and we've already heard rumblings from the news media what we could expect from a Biden-Kamala Harris administration. For example, today, one of his first executive actions is expected to be to extend the student loan deferments that occurred under President Trump and former Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos. And, of course, President Biden is also discussing granting amnesty or a path to citizenship for up to 11 million illegal immigrants. And that's just the beginning of what we could expect to see in the next 10 to 100 days of the Biden administration. So what could activists, in your estimation, be doing, specifically members of the John Birch Society, do to help shield their states and the country from the effects of this globalist, unconstitutional reign of terror that's going to rain down on Americans from the Kamala Harris and Biden administration?
A lot of our members are running constitutional workshops, and they're inviting their senators and representatives, county councilmen, they're inviting their sheriffs to join them in these constitutional workshops. And so that's what I recommend all members do, is to run your own Constitution as a solution workshop. You can do it out of your home. You don't have to tell the government what you're doing. You know, some states, people are worried about getting out and into restaurants to do constitutional workshops because sometimes we rent conference rooms to do these things. But, you know, invite people to your house. Get them to understand the Constitution, because this Constitution is the key to winning back and restoring our republic. And so your field coordinator can help you. So if you're a member, contact your field coordinator. Find out how you can learn more about running a Constitution as the Solution workshop. And the key in the next few years, and especially the next few months, is going to be nullification. And I live in South Carolina, and we are great at nullification. At least we have a history of nullifying. And so that is the key. It's not an ugly word. It's not a racist word like some people want to say. It is an Americanist term. Nullifying any laws that are not constitutional is nullification. Now, if you want to use a nicer word for it, call it anti-commandeering, because that may not make some people upset if you say anti-commandeering instead of nullification. But I still remember when Walter Williams, the late Walter Williams, flew into South Carolina to help us try to nullify Obamacare. And here we had this black American speak so elegantly about the need to nullify at the state level. And they could no longer call us racist when he showed up, because we were no longer not represented by a black American leader. And so for those that may say nullification is racist, because that's often what's said amongst Democrats and even some Republicans, it is what George Washington and Thomas Jefferson would have said is the rightful remedy at this point in time.
It's only racist, according to the left, that is, when Republicans or conservatives or Americanists use nullification. For example, when the left wants to do their version of nullification, like sanctuary cities for illegal immigrants, well, that's all fine and dandy. But when Republican legislators and governors say, well, we're going to declare our state or our city Second Amendment sanctuary city, all of a sudden, well, that's just extremist and racist. But for those that are watching that maybe haven't heard of nullification so much, they've maybe just become awakened or taken the red pill, so to speak, of Americanism. Can you explain really briefly what nullification is and where it sort of comes from in the Constitution, the concept of the states being able to do this?
The 10th Amendment is the quickest way to look it up, or you can look at the Article 6, I believe Section 2. The federal government has enumerated things that they can do. Anything that's not enumerated is unconstitutional. And so Article 6, what it calls for is that if it's not enumerated, it is not supreme. In order for a law to be supreme, it has to be an enumerated power. And too many times representatives think that anything the federal government says goes. That is not correct. We do not live in a banana republic. We live in a constitutional republic where everybody has God-given rights to life, liberty, and property. And so until we get back, until more of us Birchers, more members of the John Birch Society become the referees, what we got right now is a basketball game with no referees. Imagine anybody wanting to watch a basketball game with no referees. I wouldn't want to watch it very long because it would just be complete chaos. Well, that's what we've got going on at the federal government level right now, is complete chaos. until we remind ourselves that we are supposed to be the referees in America. And some of us, I can't as a field coordinator because that's not my job, but we need more members to run for office and be constitutionalists. And that's another way you can be a referee, because not only can you take your oath seriously and obey your oath to office, but you can referee the other elected officials, especially the ones that absolutely do not want to obey the U.S. Constitution.
That's absolutely right. Well, of course, Evan, we are down for time for the day, but we thank you so much for being with us. And those that are watching, of course, contact your local JBS coordinator and see how you can join the freedom fight to help educate others in your community, and to contact your state legislators to nullify the unconstitutional legislations that we see that could be coming down from Congress, especially gun control and a whole host of other things. Don't just know your Constitution, live it. This has been Liberty News Hour. As always, you can go to thenewamerican.com and jbs.org for more information on these topics, as well as more shows.